This podcast is brought to you by Customplan Financial Advisors Inc, an independent insurance managing general agency in Canada. FINANCIALPODCAST.ca was developed with one goal in mind: to educate Canadians on important topics that affect their financial well-being and make it readily available to all. We welcome you to plug in and learn with us. If you have questions, please email us at contact@financialpodcast.ca.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to Financial Podcast. I'm your host, Darlene. Today's show has us talking once again about estate planning and trust services. This is such an important part of a person's financial plan, and it's important to get the information out there. Today's guest is Jandy John, who is the Director of Business Development at Concentra Trust. Jandy has been in the estate planning field for a long time and has a great deal of experience in trust as well. Welcome, Jandy. Thank you for appearing on our program.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm looking forward to this podcast today. But can you tell us a little bit more about yourself first?
Okay, thank you. As Darlene said, my name is Jandy John. I'm the Director of Business Development at Concentra Trust. I'm a trust professional with extensive experience managing fiduciary appointments involving a broad range of structures, including trusts, estates, guardianships, and power of attorneys and corporations. I am well versed in creating comprehensive, technical, and tax-efficient estate planning solutions that brings together personal and emotional objectives that often influence estates, trusts, and capacity planning. Because of my experiences at several major financial institutions and leading trust companies, I can draw from a wide range of best practices and provide very pragmatic and customized solutions to clients. I'm also a big advocate of helping women advance in their estates and trust industries.
Wow, that's impressive. You know, we've met so many impressive people as guests on this program. We're so happy to have you with us.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and to talk about estates and trust and planning. It's a big passion of mine.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I think we need a lot of people out there like you. Many people are aware of the estate and trust services that the Big Five chartered banks provide, but these same options are available to credit unions, and that's not something that's talked about enough. So in doing research on Concentra Trust, I see that you provide a number of different estate planning and trust solutions, not only on a personal level, but on a corporate level as well. So can you give us a brief overview of what Concentra Trust is and whether all credit unions have access to this service?
Oh, sure. Well, Concentra Trust is a pure fiduciary trust company, and it is a national trust company. So we are coast to coast. Concentra was born from the credit union ecosystem and provides estates and trust solutions for about 80% of the credit unions across Canada. Concentra does offer all of the traditional trust solutions: estate administration, trust administration, act as power of attorney, guardian for property. On the corporate side, Concentra also holds assets in escrow. We have bare trustees. And right now, the real estate market is going a little bit crazy at this moment. So we're seeing a lot of foreign investors buying real estate in Canada, then setting up bare trust to hold the properties. And because we are smaller than the traditional bank-owned trust companies, we can be very creative to offer creative solutions to our clients.
Oh, well, that's interesting. And maybe we can circle back to that with the foreign investors. That's news to me. But before we do go there, are your services available in all provinces? You did say you were coast to coast, but are you in all provinces?
We don't have an office in all of the provinces, but we do have representation in all provinces. And because Concentra is the way from the credit unions. We leverage a lot of our credit union allies in provinces where we don't have representation, we have become very good at doing administration remotely also.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of companies are finding they're doing very good administration lately, remotely.
Yeah, we have to adapt to the times, but this has been our model from day one. So we've been very good at it. We're very efficient in how we do it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's excellent to know. And when it comes to estate planning, do you deal directly with a client or do you work through a broker?
Okay, so at Concentra, we deal with estate planning directly with clients, or we can work with partners. Because Concentra doesn't have custody of assets, we therefore partner well with money managers because there's no direct competition for asset custody. Concentra also works with clients that are executors or attorney and needs help. In that case, we can help by acting as agent for executor, agent for power of attorney. Also, when estates are litigious, we act as the court-appointed trustees until the litigation is settled. And we have a network of partners that we leverage. We have accountants, lawyers, social workers, and even real estate agents across the country that we work with.
Okay, well, that sort of leads into the next question that I had for you about the team. Sometimes, like in the larger estates and some higher net worth estate plans and trusts, it requires an entire team to properly service the client. So how do you bring in all these experts, or is it that somebody brings you in? How does that work?
Well, it can work both ways because Concentra Trust have a will bank where we are named on someone's will, and when that person passes away, Concentra Trust is called to act. In that case, we bring the team of experts together. We'll engage as executor, we'll engage a lawyer, we'll engage an accountant, we'll engage who we need to engage to in order to have an efficient, cost-effective estate settlement. So we'll bring the team together and act as the project manager with everybody acting in the best interest of the estate. There are cases also where Concentra Trust is brought on board, and then Concentra Trust, again, will become the project manager because as trustee, we have to say in how things operate. So we will come in play and act with the team already in place and be the project manager again to ensure that the administration is cost effective. But listening to everybody in the answer, because that's one of the most important things in estate and trust administration is listening to everybody's voice and making sure you make informed decisions based on the information that you have.
And you know what? Once again, that's advice that could go through to life, bringing in experts in fields where you don't have skills or knowledge and being open-minded and listening to that advice. So it's great that Concentra does that, especially since it seems to me that you're able to take a little bit more of a nonpartisan view. You can be a little bit more detached because you said you don't own the assets, you just do the administration. Have I got that right?
That's exactly correct. And that's why our model is very successful because we're very impartial. We're not biased towards any one partner in terms of if it's an investment manager, we're not going to be biased towards one over the other. It's the partners that are already involved and the partners that we can work with to ensure, again, most cost-effective, efficient way to administer.
Yeah, that's good to know. And I think probably a lot of credit unions and credit union customers, this is good knowledge for them to be aware of that. How would an advisor identify the type of client that would be appropriate for this service?
Well, okay, it can be of many things. There are several ways to identify. So if a client is acting as an executor, a trustee or attorney and need assistance in the administration, that's someone that can be referred to us. If they're overwhelmed with their own administration, yes, that's somebody we can make sure we can help. If your client is planning their estate and do not have family members or friends living in your province that you reside, then you can refer to a corporate trustee. If the client has blended families, strained family dynamics, have minor children, If the clients have beneficiaries that are vulnerable and need ongoing trust to provide protection for the beneficiaries, that's something that's a refer. That's someone that can come to Concentra Trust. If your clients have assets in another country, born in another country, or even collect pensions in another country, then that's a person we can also refer. And one of the most important things, if the client wants continuation of working with their individual money managers or tax preparers to sell their estate, that's someone that Concentra Trust can help.
Okay. That's a pretty wide range of options available.
It's a pretty wide range. You look at it as in terms of what are the dynamics of the individual and what the individual wants to happen when they pass away. I get a lot of calls and a lot of feedback, especially from advisors that says, we want to use Concentra Trust because we can continue to work with Concentra Trust after my client passes away. And that creates continuity for the family members also because they get to know trusted advisors while, say, mom and dad are alive. And that continues after. So that's an advantage that we definitely bring to the table.
Yeah, I can see that continuity, stability, and then that way you're already familiar with the situation, so it can probably be executed that much more quickly.
Exactly. Again, efficiency and cost effective. You don't want to spend an entire estate paying for lawyers, paying for opinions. You want to make sure that the last wishes that are left, that is carried out and is carried out in the intention of the testator.
That's good. That's good to know. And I know this is probably maybe outside of your realm, but I would just like to circle back a little bit to what you said earlier about foreign investment in real estate. I knew that happened, but I had no idea how it happened. But they go through trust experts like yourselves. And you said the real estate market is on fire. Is that specific locations that you know of, or is it?
Yeah, in the Toronto market right now, real estate prices have just been going up and up and up, and there's a lot of little competition, so the prices are really skyrocketing. So we're seeing a lot of influx of foreign money coming in to buy real estate. And when that real estate is purchased, and again, the trust will create confidentiality. So we see a lot of bare trustee agreements being drafted and being put together to hold the real estate investments.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. That's, yet another service you provide that, well, I certainly had no idea about, but perhaps others did. I'm really glad you came on the program and that we discovered Concentra Trust. And it's interesting because there are a lot of people that have been longtime credit union clients and supporters. So I think this is an added bonus for them to know that this option exists.
Most definitely. When we talk to any credit union or even a bank per se, when a person passes away, that's you put your arm around the family members and say, you know what, I have something that I can help you get through this very difficult time. And that's the service that Concentra Trust offers, is ensuring that family members know and they can rest assured that mom and dad's estate will be taken care of and taken care of by professionals.
Yeah. And there is that level of comfort it provides. And, I think in Canada, we're pretty fortunate, or, from what I can see, there are a lot of options when it comes to estate planning. We've talked to a number of experts in that field. And I think, the point we're trying to drive home at Customplan, or on this podcast, Financial Podcast, is that you need to prepare for these eventualities, and it doesn't have to be a scary process. There's lots of well-knowledged people out there that can help you go through this. And, it doesn't have to be intimidating. And I think, having Concentra Trust is just another option, another good option for them.
So most definitely, when we think of estate plan, people want to bury their heads sometimes. But again, it's a natural way of life happens, and so does death. And the consequences of not planning, it far outweighs what happens when you plan. You want to ensure that you have your legacy continue and how you want that to be left to your children and your family members, rather than having determination made based on what the laws are around you. So you want to control it more so by putting your plannings in place.
Yeah, and that's an important aspect of it is the why. And we've talked to some other people as well, getting people inspired to create an estate plan so that it's not left to the laws and the courts and whomever else, that your wishes can be executed in the way that you want them to be.
Exactly. It's having your control, right? It's having your last wishes. You want to ensure that, your family members, may have a minor, you may even have a pet you want to take care of. You may have charitable needs that a child will giving that you want to give. Yes, and that's the best way to do it. It's that continuation. I may want my dog to be kept in a certain way. I may want my cat to be like it. It can go very granular in terms of what you want to happen.
Yeah, in all full honesty here, I have to tell you, my husband and I have written into our wills that we have people to take care of our pets. In the event we both go. But, it was important to us. And so it's, may not have been important to somebody else, but, we wanted to make sure that they're taken care of. And that's what it's all about. The estate planning are the things that are important to you, are the things that are taken care of.
Exactly. It's not scary. It's more scary when we don't do it. I can tell you stories that will make your hair stand on end from my experiences. So it is something that every person should do, no matter what size of the estate, because your last wishes are your last wishes.
That's right. There's no going back, actually. As we approach the end of this, I was just, it's been so informative. I've learned a lot, but I was wondering if there's a last piece of advice you would like to leave our listeners with.
Oh, most definitely. And what we're just talking about, everyone should have an estate plan, and corporate executors and trustees are not just for the uber rich. I mean, and people have to consider when choosing an executor, they need to make careful consideration. What I mean by careful consideration, you have to think of the age of the person that you're choosing to be an executor. Will they be alive at that time? Will they have competency? And you have to consider your family dynamics in terms of who do I want to administer my estate. So the bottom line is everyone should have an estate plan, and always consider a corporate executor or trustee to be either a co-executor, sole executor, or even an alternate executor in some instances.
That's excellent advice. Jandy, how can people get in touch with you if they want more information?
Sure. So I can reach by either email or by telephone. I am also on LinkedIn. My email address is Jandy, Jandy.John, John, at concentra.ca. And my direct phone number is 647-524-7269. And also on LinkedIn, I can be reached that way also.
Excellent. Just so everybody knows, all of Jandy's information will be on the website. I know you're busy, and I want to thank you again for coming on the program with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity. I enjoy talking about planning and estates and trust administration. So it was my total pleasure to be here.
Well, that certainly came through as well. And many thanks once again to Customplan Financial Advisors. They are sponsors of this show. If you have a suggestion for a topic or would like to be a guest or know someone who would like to be a guest, please send an email to contact@financialpodcast.ca. And I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.
The views expressed here are those of the participants and not those of Customplan Financial Advisors Inc., its affiliates, or subsidiaries. This is not intended to serve as a complete analysis of every material fact regarding any company, industry, or security. This presentation may contain forward-looking statements. Investors are cautioned not to place undue reliance on such statements, as actual results could vary. This site and podcasts are for general information purposes only and does not constitute investment advice and is not intended as an endorsement of any specific investment product or service. Individual investors should consult with an investment professional about their personal situation. Past performance is not indicative of future results. If you are unsure about what is the best course of action for you in your financial planning, then we suggest you consult a fee-based independent financial advisor or get in touch with us to discuss your individual situation. Our phone number is 604-687-7773.